It's out in the U.S. An economic summit started by U.S. civil rights leader Rev Jessie Jackson is celebrating its 20th anniversary under the theme Strengthening and Redefining Inclusion and Equality in the Marketplace.
The Rainbow Push Wall Street Project Economic Summit aims, amongst other things, to achieve greater equality in the marketplace. Our U.S. correspondent Sherwin Bryce-Pease caught up with Rev Jackson in New York earlier this evening.
Reverend Jackson, congratulations, 20 years of this economic summit. What was your thinking back in 1996 when you started this?
Well, we were just engaged in the big struggle to free Mandela, to free those on Robben Island, to free South Africa, indeed to free Southern America. We've achieved freedom, now we must achieve equality. And that meant not only access to the right to walk down the street and use public accommodations, but access to capital and industry and technology and deal flow. When we were locked out of freedom, we were denied the right to learn the science of capital development. So we've globalized freedom, now we must globalize equality.
I mean, the opening remarks you made when you were just addressing delegates a short time ago was South Africa free but not equal. This is very much a situation in many parts of the world.
Well, that's and the gap between those who have and have not is so great, because it's really about, we have major investment in pension funds and hedge funds. We tend not to manage them or direct where they are applied for development. And that's, in this stage, to get freedom must just end barbarism. You can't walk the street, you can't vote, that's just barbaric. So now we're free, but our access to the pension funds and lending and investment, that's the next stage of the struggle around the world.
Well, you talk about a theme for this conference, celebrating 20 years, strengthening and redefining inclusion and equality in the corporate marketplace. How much have you achieved over the last 20 years in terms of that theme?
I would say about a C. The African Americans and Latinos and women, Native Americans who are involved in Wall Street deal making that were not involved at all 20 years ago. We found a lot of doors that were closed and not been knocked on. How do you get inclusion? Knock on the door, or buy shares of stock, or sometimes fight, picket, and protest. But at least when you're fighting for economic justice, you're fighting the right fight. And the good news is everybody wins. The people who are locked out represent market, money, talent, location, growth. So even though there are fears about letting the walls down, when you replace walls and bridges, everybody wins.
I'll tell you what, Reverend Jackson, one of the big talking points, almost a political football in South Africa today, is this term called white monopoly capital. In fact, President Jacob Zuma was speaking in his State of the Nation address just a few days ago, and he referenced the point that the workforce, the workplace hasn't transformed as much as the political situation in South Africa over the last 20 years. And I think he made a reference to the fact that whites dominate 70% of top management positions in companies today. How do we begin to transform that situation?
To know that it is the truth. Effort and excellence means a lot. Access and inheritance means more. And so you can vote and change leaders, but the lineage of capital is an inheritance line. You do business with people that you know and trust and like. And so in our quest to get free, we achieve that. Now we must demand our share of board seats, our share of C-suites, our share of investment, our share of managing funds. We must demand our share of managing the real money, which is really pensions. And then maybe corporate pensions, maybe university pensions or church pensions. Those monies must be the object of our focus now.
Let me ask you a more domestic question. President Donald Trump was tweeting earlier today about how Wall Street is hitting record highs. How does this presidency influence what you're trying to achieve on the ground?
Unfortunately, not very much, because if it's going to record high but not record inclusion, it doesn't matter very much. So few and fewer have more and more, and more and more have less and less. We must demand our share of the deal making. And when these deals do come, whether telecom or automotive, we must be part of the deal making, managing and targeting where the investment takes place. That we end slums, you end poverty, everybody can participate in the growth.
When you say demand, what does demand mean? What does demand look like?
Demand looks like, if you want your share, you must request it. Second, if that does not work, you must fight legally, you must fight politically, and sometimes you must fight in the streets. But at least you're fighting the right fight. Fighting for economic justice is the right fight. And the good news is everybody wins when it's occurred, when it is achieved.
Reverend Jessie Jackson, thank you so much indeed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.